All right, good evening, everyone. We are back with episode 3, and tonight my guest is Jameela Korek. In the previous 2 episodes, I introduced you to the other 2 co-founders of R.A.C.E, Raise Awareness of Coaching in Education, Jacob and Renu. And today I would like you to meet Jameela. Jameela has been working with Novartis for many years in the UAE, and we are both coaches, but we met through R.A.C.E because we both have this passion of bringing coaching skills and the coaching methodology into the classroom, into families, and into the corporate world as well, because they are full of parents and to be parents as well. So, Jameela, what is it that really motivates you about bringing coaching into education? What is your personal relationship with R.A.C.E?
Yes, thank you, Beatrix, and I am so happy to be, today with you. And R.A.C.E made it's very close to my purpose in life. Education is always, key for people and to grow. And if I want, to reflect on how we can make the world better place, is by really focusing on the education and helping our students and our future leaders, to be more self-aware and to build on their strengths and to grow. So this is really something which is close to my heart. I always believe, because coaching helped me personally, helped me during my journey, my leadership journey. And since that, it was really very beneficial for me. I would like really to share it with the whole world. Why not? Yeah,
Yes.
and especially with education.
Great. We'll go back to this, but can you tell me how can coaching help you in that journey? You really advanced, and right now you are in a very senior leadership position at Novartis. So what are the few things that you would highlight for people to know how coaching can help them? How did it help
Yes.
you?
Yeah, that's it's very interesting question, and you are really taking me a few years in my journey. But the first time I was introduced to coaching, it was when I was a sales manager and I have a team. And it was like an eye opener, because I was not really understanding how to coach my team members. And when I started, to learn more about coaching, I didn't only support my team member, but I learned a lot. I learned how much I was not really supportive for them. I was not listening very well. And this was very much awareness for me. And since then, I was really impressed by how much coaching is important for everyone, because I saw the effect on the team members and also on me as a coach, as a manager. So this is why I felt that I explored a lot and I became a better version of myself. This is something which I really appreciate in coaching. Every time you are more aware about who you are, what are your strengths, and how can you use them in the framework of coaching. You are inspiring others, and you are helping others also to explore and grow. Definitely, yeah.
Yeah,
And this is
thank
what
you so
happened to me.
much. That I like the part that you said that you started listening more to your people and you started to explore and discover more. So we have a listener, and I'm just want to say, if you have any questions for Jameela, please type it in and I will ask her. So feel free to ask away as well. It's a conversation. Um, there is another thing I wanted to ask as well. I like, and I'm sure you're a great manager, using those amazing skills in the conversation. I'm sure your team members, they love you. I wanted to ask you something related to corporate culture. So, when you look at the dynamics of how people operate in teams and how they treat each other, how they talk to each other, do you see some some patterns, some behavioral patterns that may be detected back to how they in fact worked in the classroom, in teams, how they worked in projects. Is there a parallel between the two?
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Beatrix, my leadership journey is like very long. It has been like 30 years. And during the 30 years, I really noticed different pattern. What I can share that, of course, any you can see that you jump more into solution because it's easy. It's easy, when one of your team member comes and asks you for a request, instead of waiting and asking a question and listen and challenge little bit, to let them find the solution. It is easy for you as a manager just to fix it. So this was really the aim of the pattern that I saw with many of the managers. Nowadays, the coaching awareness is really more into corporate, and it is embedded in the skills and capabilities. So we are really focusing on building and upgrading, the skills for our leaders, and we are trying, to create the habit of listening and asking the right question. So, and being present in the moment. And this is something which I am so happy that our corporate has been really focusing on these skills and to change it. But of course, yes, the pattern was, why I have to listen? Let me jump to solution and fix it. So it's more fixing, giving the information without, giving a chance to the team member to explore and to give them a chance, to try. Yeah.
Yeah, great. So we have questions coming from the audience as well. One is from Martin, and he's interested in how do you think coaching can be introduced in schools and colleges?
Yes. Thank you, Martin, for the question. From my own perspective, I see that coaching should be also introduced to the team, to the teachers, to the administrative, because if the top are really well equipped, because it starts from there. When it starts with the principals, and it is like giving the chance to the tutors and the teachers to get or to upskill their let's say skills. And I'm not saying that they need to be accredited coaches. I'm saying that it is very important to give them tools to listen, to how to listen. For example, to listen with empathy and how to ask the right question. This is really important. Being present, And I remember last session was with Reno about mindfulness. So being present in the moment from the teachers, giving them this capability and upskilling their skills, I think it's gonna really reflect on the student. And the teachers are role modeling for their student. And this is how, as well, it's gonna really reflect on parent, because the student will go back and they are also more equipped to listen. And this is how we can really spread, the coaching in the school. And it could be also helpful to reach, the parent and give more awareness about what is really coaching. Then if you have support for the student from the school and from the home, I guess, our future leaders, they can really rock.
Yes. And I think
yes, Martin.
Martin would agree with you. He's saying, and he's very, very experienced in this, that it has to start at the top of the organization, just like at the top of the school, like really those who are leading the school. So thank you. There is a question from Carla, but I will just invite her in because she's usually with us, and now she arrived. So I'm letting her, ask the question right away.
Yes, I apologize for being naughty and being late, jumping from Zoom to Zoom instead of room to room now.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for letting me join. Yeah, so my question, I jumped in at a really good point where you were talking about the corporate world, and I wanted to ask straight away whether or not you think, Jameela, that the corporate world and education will start to work together more effectively, because I think this has been missing for a long time. It's like
Yes.
two completely different worlds, but at the same time, teachers are supposed to feed these people that are going to go to corporate worlds, but how, if they don't work together from the very beginning? So what do you think we can do to get there as well?
Yes, thank you very much, Carla. I guess you touch very important, part of the conversation, because if I want to compare the associate and the corporate, they were also students, isn't it? Yes, and this is where we can start. So the self-awareness earlier in their life is going to make them and help them to be more present and make better decisions. Because and of course, what is important in the corporate is the interpersonal skills, how to talk and how to communicate with others. And if you are really very smart in the school and you are not upskilling to explore what are your strengths, then I guess yeah, your success will be limited. And what we want, also to offer a good career for the associates, and especially when they start in the school, they know what they are really good in, and they have the challenge, but in the same time this self-awareness is going to help them to grow within their higher education. And then when they come to the corporate, they are really ready for the challenge, because frankly speaking, at the university or the school is the education is only 10% from your success, because the 90% is going to be more communication, interpersonal skills, managing conflict. And if you listen well and you are more asking the right question, then you can avoid all this. I hope that I really connect this together.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you for that, Jameela.
And Jameela, Karen is here, and hi, Karen. And she's saying that reaching parents is essential. How do
Yeah.
you see that happening, reaching parents?
Yeah, I guess with R.A.C.E, I guess R.A.C.E is a good platform to, because I didn't really we can look at also society, and there is always a group of parents that they are really looking how they can support their student. In the same time, before I am a mom as well, and I went through a lot of challenges with my kids. So if I am more ready and prepared for better listening to my or understanding my kids better through coaching and asking them listening to them, understand their situation, then I can probably help them in their own, not only to grow but also in collaboration with the school, to prepare my children also for the future. Because what is really now challenging for parents is to prepare their kids for the future. And if we compare 21st century and what we are going through, especially last year and this year with COVID, life is very complex, and we need to prepare our kids for the future challenges.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And let me ask you and everybody else in the audience as well, that there is a tendency now, very, very visible in the UAE, where they are trying to bridge the gap and highlight the connection, the importance of the connection between the school curriculum and what is needed in the job market. In
Yes.
other countries, it's also there, but maybe less advanced. So when you think about that, bridging the gap, and everybody, I'm also interested in what you think about this. How do you see coaching being integrated there?
Yes, it's really very interesting observation, because we are lucky that we are in Dubai and in UAE in general, and we are improving a lot. And I am sure that education the field of education is also improving and growing fast in UAE with the different approach, and especially we tested in COVID, online and virtual is different. So what is really important here, Beatrix, I think from my point of view that the curriculum is going to evolve. Nothing is going to stay as it is. So from my point of view, the skills that we need to focus for the education is going to be more about teamwork, is going to be about more problem solving and critical thinking, because they don't need information. The information by a click, you can really reach Google. So if you are helping them to start, with this way of communication, giving them more communication skills, and this is part of coaching, right? To listen. What is really empathy? People, they don't really understand what is empathy, what is emotion, how can I deal with my emotion, and all this you can explore it with coaches. So if this is going, to change, then you are bridging the gap. And another also observation that now corporate, they are accepting early young generation for internship or, assignment. So I guess this exposure of our students early in their age and before going to the university is going to give them self-confidence and understand why I need as well to be more open, to explore, to listen, and to ask a question, which is really coaching style, because the world is different. It's not, where the school. It's not, that I need just to be high in my IQ and be good student with a grade A and A plus. This is not enough anymore, Beatrice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good. Thank you. I feel build on what you are saying. You are saying very important things here. And let's see, I know very experienced people out there in the audience. What are the values you see that students and parents who are also corporate employees are getting from coaching and being coached? And I will ask Carla if you can maybe then give us a summary later on of these comments coming in. But 2 points that I found very interesting that you brought up and I can very truly relate to. One of them is giving them a clear vision of who they want to become as students, like knowing where they are heading in their life. What is the big picture? What is the big dream? This is so far not the center of the curriculum, but I can see how, in your opinion, it's also one of the core elements. And the other is the soft skills, how to work with others, how to coexist with others as well. So maybe Carla can also bring in some from the audience, some skills that coaching can help to develop.
Yeah, we've got from Renu. Renu says, explore, listen, and understand. She agrees with you there. And Martin says, part of preparing children for their future is achieved by guiding them in learning from their now, managing and exploring their thoughts and their emotions. So really important skills there.
Yeah, and building on, thank you, Carla. And building on what Martin was saying, that exploring their emotions, it's a challenging time, a very challenging time for parents as well. They are homeschooling, somehow they became full-time teachers, they are still doing their full-time job, where there is an over-expectation and overcompensation of doing more and more and being available 24/7. So, and we know parents are role models in a sense that how they manage their emotions, this is how kids are going to manage their emotions. So from your experience as a coach and also as a team leader, how do you manage your emotions? And how do you, show that example to your team members and to those people in your family?
Yes, it's not easy. It's not easy, but awareness is very important. You have really to be aware about your emotion at the moment. and decide what do you want, to do with it. And this cannot be done if you are not really aware about how to navigate with your emotion. And this is I was helped by a coach. I was coach. It's not that I study only coaching, but I was coach in order that, to reach the place where am I. And frankly speaking, there is always a challenges. And that's why I guess there is so many techniques, to be aware about your feelings and emotion, and decide what do you want to do with it based on who you are and what are your values. And of course, some of the tips and techniques, because if you are aware about your emotion at the moment, and you know that you need to move forward with your team members, I think, yes, what is important is to listen first, understand, and ask direct question, and then, move on. If you can balance this, so you reduce any conflicts. And I think, this is a way that we can move forward. We can reduce all the conflict and disagreement between teams, or between a student, or even with parents. You mentioned, Beatrix, that nowadays the challenge for the parent that they are also homeschooling, right? So frankly speaking, the parents needs coaching, because they are really going through challenges that this is first time they are they are going through it. So how they can explore that this is normal, but you need to know who you are and why you are reacting like this. Then you can find your own decision, because with coaching you explore and you decide for yourself what do you want to do. So I guess this is how we can really manage,
Yeah.
the our emotion,
Such a
by
nice
being aware.
sequence. Such a nice sequence you described. And I will also ask Carla to see what the answers are from the audience. But I liked how you said that being aware of it and then deciding, so how am I going to respond to this to avoid conflicts? And we can have many conflicts if we are not aware of our emotions. We might just pour all those negative emotions out. So let's see what people in the audience think about this.
Yeah, we've got Martin says one part of managing one's emotions is to be able to pause and name them.
Label.
Yeah. And there is a treasured resource in the Clean Language Toolkit. It's a coaching toolkit recommendation there from Martin. Reno says managing emotions is not easy for anyone. Whatever words we utter should be chosen with care, for others will hear them and be influenced by them for good or ill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And we've got another one from Martin, says much of what is being said about managing emotions can be applied at primary school level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And by the way, this is interesting, Martin, and thank you. So Jameela, how do you see this? Primary school, we are talking about kids aged 5 and 6 and 7, very small. How can this be introduced at that stage?
Yeah, I guess, Beatrix, nowadays in coaching, or, we can also include different tools for coaching, right? And it doesn't mean that coaching is only for adult or for certain age. But at least if I see that the primary school level, of course, we start first with the teachers, with the care, the people who they are taking care of this primary school level, right? And then if they are starting, to use some tips, there is a lot of tools that you can use it with the children, even on young age, to start labeling their also emotion, understanding why they are not happy here, or why they are not getting along with some of their friends. So I guess there is plenty of tools there that we can use it even on younger age. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Something that you highlight here is that coaching and the tools, like becoming more self-aware, manage your emotions, be more mindful. It's kind of like it doesn't depend on your age. It can happen in whatever age you are in. And that kind of opens up learning to a much bigger arena, because I can learn from somebody who is 7, but I can also learn from somebody who is 77.
Yes. That's true, because learning is beyond also books or beyond the school. You know, we learn from exposure, learn from experience from each other. So it's not anymore the books. So if we can create this space for them, let them also listen to their mind, that they will really react differently. And you know, Beatrice, also what is really going on with coaching, you will become more proactive instead of reacting, because you can really manage this emotion. So you will reduce all the tension and the challenge that is happening. And what do you want for the school, for the student? You want, you know, an environment that it can be safe for them, secure to try, and also to help them to start, you know, thinking differently. So I guess by the end, if we start with the top, as in corporate, we are embedding now coaching culture in our organization, and it is for everyone in the organization. It's not only for the top, but of course the top are going to be the role modeling, but it is for everyone, and also professional level, not only at the work, because we are taking care about also mental health. And you know, with the situation that we are in COVID, you know, the challenges are really many, and this is the reason why we are ensuring that we have, you know, a culture of coaching, to listen more, to be present, and to really support each other.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. I like the support, and I like how you are looking at it as a shared language, as a language we all speak. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
very
this
lovely.
is, yeah, and really, this is something which is I am passionate about it, Beatrix, because if each one of us can really support, you know, others by listening more, by being more empathetic, by asking the right question, understand, you know, let you know the other person, anyone who is, you know, talking to, either your kids, your children, your student, your peers, your colleague. But I guess we can change the world, you know, and this is what is important. How we can change the world to become better place to live for our kids and the kids of our kids, for the future
Yes.
leaders.
Yes. Great. I will ask Carla to say if you can see some interesting comments
Mm.
coming up that we want to share with Jameela.
Yeah, we've got this great comment here from Karen. Says we are looking at delivering coaching on the teacher training courses so we can introduce them to the language of coaching. I think that's long overdue, isn't it? I think she's answering Martin, who asked for more information on that. She says, Martin, we're looking at how we can get involved with, say, universities who run teacher training courses to see if we can be part of that training. Early days, watch this space. That would be an amazing thing, wouldn't it?
Yes, that would be
Yeah.
amazing to bring more of it in teacher training. But also, you know, we touched based on so many areas, and we found that they are actually linked to each other. Now, as we are getting to the end of this conversation, I would like to ask you, and also everybody else in the audience, is what are the 3 top tips that you would like to give to parents now in this current situation who are working in a corporate world? And
Yes.
Jameela, you go first.
Yes, this is really very interesting question, because, you know, all my colleagues who they have children, they are really going through challenges on daily basis. Between that, we are connected all the time, and we need, you know, to do our work, and at the same time they are, you know, having responsibility with their kids. So I guess one tip is ask for help. You know, sometimes we don't know that if we ask for coaching, that it's gonna really help me. And you know, it's not very far. We have, you know, many coaches around us. And if we ask, you know, for time for ourselves, because if I start by myself as a mom or as a dad, then I can really share with, I can, you know, be a better person, taking these challenges without, you know, putting a lot of stress on myself and be affected mentally. And this is what we are worried about it nowadays, Beatrix. So these are the first, ask for help. You know, coaching can help you. And in the same time, try maybe to learn some tips from coaching.
Yes.
The language of coaching.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, Carla, would you like to also share the top 3 tips you have?
Yeah, I'm going to just give one, and it's coming out of this conversation actually. And I think if people can do this, this is more than enough rather than giving them 3. But I want to go back to the point that Jameela mentioned, and also that Martin spoke about earlier about recognizing emotions and naming them and being able to manage emotions. And I think this is true of parents and teachers. Quite often in the beginning, we believe that managing emotions is holding them in. And that's the first step, that we give ourselves like a tick if we've held our emotions in. So the child's being naughty, I'm going to compose myself, I'm not going to lose it. But actually what we need to understand is when we do that, the emotion is still there and it's still affecting us. And because we're not getting it out, in it's in energy, isn't it? Emotions are energy. And because we're not expressing them, they are not going away. They're still there. And quite often they are operating, maybe not on the child or on the environment, but they're operating on us. And this is one of the biggest causes of burnout amongst teachers. I guess amongst corporate people, where emotions are suppressed or not welcome in the boardroom, unless it's anger. Anger and passion are welcome, but the other emotions are not. But those emotions, they can be destructive and they can have really serious implications for our mental and physical health. So I would say not only to name the emotions and, acknowledge them, but also to understand that managing emotions is not all about keeping them in and suppressing them. It's about learning the healthy ways to express them, and that the full range of emotions are healthy for a human. But you just need to learn, and coaching can help you, and Jameela will say probably more about that, but coaching can help you to learn the most effective ways of handling your emotions rather than just suppressing them. So that's what I would like people to take away.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for this conversation. There is a lot that I personally learned from it, and many nice reminders as well of how important it is to allow ourselves to be in the present moment, to use a language that brings more love and empathy and confidence and trust into our conversations, and many, many other things. So all of you who have been here with us, thank you for joining us, and please join us next time as well. We are going to be back next Wednesday, 7:30 to 8, and I'm going to introduce you to the last but one founder of R.A.C.E, Angela. You are also going to learn a lot from her, and just like today. So it was really good. Thank you, all of you joining, Karen, Renu, Martin, bringing your wonderful energy here. We love having you, and we are looking forward to have you again, and maybe one day on the live. Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.